Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. He is very unique in his insight, makes you think, and moves your life forward as an accelerated healing specialist. Uses lots of different modalities to get that done, to help you move your life forward as an intuitive, a coach, hypnotherapist, and acupuncturist. But what exactly is accelerated healing? What does that mean? We're going to dig into that today. I know, after doing many podcasts with him, where that leads us to a lot of different realizations of ourselves that inherently help us heal. Our professional of the year, Chris Distefano, is back with us. How you doing today?
Doing great, thank you. How about you, Steve?
Good. Let's break that down, if we may. Accelerated healing specialist. You know, I just saw Chris in the elevator walking up here. Haven't seen him in a long time. I said, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? And we had like 15, 30 seconds to talk. What would you say?
Oh, 15 to 30 seconds. I would say I help you find what's wrong, what other people have missed, and empower you to heal from it.
Now, when you say what's wrong,
that's the 15 seconds.
Gotcha. And I believe that that's accurate. When you say what's wrong, now let's go into that. Now we're going to start peeling back the layers.
Good. I'm glad we're starting there. This is a fun one for me, believe it or not. The fastest way to get from point A to point B is to know where you're going. The fastest way to treat a condition in the mind and the body is to know what the problem is. So diagnostics are number one. What do? Let's say you have bone pain. We'll call it arthritis. You're going to go see a doctor for that, and the doctor gives you pills to quiet down the inflammation. And that's not really getting to the root of the problem. Why do you have the inflammation? People come into my office with the arthritis, with something else. I had a woman come in. This is one of the wildest things. She came in. She's been having pain for 30 years. When she sits down, those nerves down there send pain to the areas down there, sensation, for 30 years. And it took 5 years to even get a diagnosis. She's been seeing all sorts of people, getting exercises and whatever. And finally, I'm working with her. I'm like, wow, this is because she has anterior pelvic tilt. I've just come up with actually powerful treatments to help people to kind of like, it's not physical therapy, but exercises they could do at home to help correct their pelvis. I actually just started working with that the past couple of weeks. As we've been working on that, and I'm educating her, because that's the most important thing. Her pelvic PT has been working with that, but never told her the words, never empowered her. So someone comes to me, I work with them, try to find exactly what's underlying, because anterior pelvic tilt ties into a lot of other stuff, and it has to be addressed at the global scale. I cross all the different, every specialist has a lane. And you can think of it like a road. You have lanes, you have grass, you have medians, you have all that. If your problem doesn't land square in a lane, and you go to the best specialist in the world, that specialist is going to miss it because they're not looking outside that lane. So I look all through my training and my experience. I look through all the grass, all the everything to find what's going on with the person. So that's how a visit starts.
I love that analogy about the lane. Would you say it's true that you have training, skills, experience, insight, intuition to cross the lanes where others may not? So let's say, somebody's in a lane, you're identifying something, but it also crosses over to another lane. You can go into the other lane and treat them as well.
Not only that, that's a big part of it, because I'm not even in a car. I'm just sort of hovering over the whole thing because I have the capacity to spend time. I don't have the same requirements that a medical doctor does in terms of documentation. And essentially, you go to the doctor, they're following a checklist of, for this, do this.
Yep.
I'm not bound to that. So I want to really dive down into the root. But even more importantly, let's say you have let's say you have a problem. It didn't really get diagnosed well. I could even tell you, go see this specialist. This is the right person. I could help someone route to the right person with the right questions to get the best care. because I know what I can't do. I know what I don't want to do, and I know who can do it better. Because my goal is always, what's the best service I can offer to the person in front of me? And sometimes that best service is someone else.
Can you give us another, call it, case study or situation that you've confronted?
Oh man. One of my favorites is I'm working with a patient right now, and I'm incorporating the newer techniques I've developed. So she's doing the movements at home to loosen up stuck fascia. Fascinatingly, I was at a seminar this past week and I'm talking to people. Everyone wants to move fascia. That's literally what I do all day.
Mm.
And the rapid release is a fascial release technique. So she's been doing it, her posture. So she's early 40s, her posture. She's about 2 inches taller now because she was sort of hunched over. She has more energy. Her lymphatics have opened. So her face, she gets facial stuff done and this and that. She looks better than she ever has because her face is now properly drained. Her brain is working better because the glymphatic system, because she's been working on neck stuff, her entire neck is opened up. She has more energy, she's happier, etc. We took a person who was running, let's say 40%. Oh, she was having digestive stuff, you name it. Took someone running at 40% just by helping her. Because I can't do it. I cannot get a person's posture to shift, but I can help a person to learn how. I can help a person to learn how to rebalance the tight muscles. So she went from like 40% of capacity. She's probably running around 65 to 70 now.
Wow.
Yeah. And not 100%, not 110%, but we're talking about nearly doubling where she was.
When you talk about fascia,
Yeah.
in that area, I start thinking of lymphatic system. Does that come into play?
Everything. When we talk about fascia, we're talking about everything because it is the connective tissue that surrounds our cells, our blood vessels, everything. So when fascia gets bound, it restricts movement of anything. It also, fascia, this is the stuff that I don't have videos on, but doing the technique I do, the rapid release, I've helped my patients as well as myself release fascia around the skull. I can hear things popping as it moves. I feel more clarity in thought after that. Even sinuses, those open up too. So everything, the fascia, once it gets knotted, we have to find ways to smooth it out. Once it's smoothed out, the body moves freely. When the body is knotted, and this is one of those things, and I have to say something woo-woo every time, but what's inside our body is also going to affect our world. If we're holding ourselves really bound and tight, people see that and they respond accordingly. And that's the message we give to the world.
They pick up on those cues, and we can say, here we go, woo alert. The energy that comes from it or you're feeling a certain way. Let's say you got pain, you don't know what it is, discomfort, just cranky, grouchy because something's bothering you in terms of your physiology. You put out energy,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., vibration. Others are going to pick up on it, and they may be a little standoffish. You may not get the same result at work. You may be in sales. I don't know why. I used to close deals. Now it's not happening. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah. And the most important thing on this, Steve, is if I'm holding myself like that, if I'm holding my thoughts like that, I'm hurting myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pushing myself away. I'm making myself weaker. I'm making myself lose energy. Like, you know what? Take everyone else out of it, all of that. I don't want to be around me when I'm like that. And I'm stuck with me.
So you better work with you.
Exactly. And that's it. It's like, okay, what can I do in every facet? So yeah, if I'm holding myself really tight, that's part of what I teach my patients. I forgot I made a jump there. That's what I teach my patients. It's like, if you're holding yourself, what's it telling you? Because our body's trying to talk to us. It's not trying to really just give us a hard time. So a big part of the visits with me, no matter what I'm doing, is what's the body saying? So there's visits where I'm doing coaching. What's the coaching doing? That's, again, it's all about the diagnostics. If I can help someone find what they're avoiding, because that's the strongest resistance there is. The resistance we can see is the weak resistance. The resistance we've run away from, that's what defines us. That's a strong resistance. And that's what I love to do in the coaching. That's what I love to do in the acupuncture. It's finding the stuff that's hidden. It's not the pebble in your shoe. It's more like the thing you don't even feel that's causing you to get hurt. And we find that, we bring the attention to it. That's also a very powerful part of all of my treatments. It's if I'm pressing on the body, if there's, let's say you have shoulder pain and I'm pressing and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that hurts so much. I'm not really hurting you. I'm pressing with the same pressure. Your body protecting that area, I'm just bringing attention to it. So, yes.
So now we're talking about physical challenges that people have.
Mhm.
Let's go over to the mental side of things. And
Okay.
true story, spoke with somebody recently, very close to them, and I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but it's recent, like in the last couple of weeks. And they said that they've been dealing with depression, anxiety, many years, 30 years
Mhm.
on a cocktail of meds for 30 years. They went to the doctor recently. They had, some trembling in fingers and things like that. And the doctor said, that's the meds. It's side effects from the meds that you've been on.
Oh my God.
No, wait, no, wait. So I've I've said before about a lot of the modalities that we're talking about, and I've said, even hypnotherapy, and I suggested that to this person years ago,
Mhm.
and they said it didn't work. Yeah, they did 3 sessions, it didn't work, and I know why. They weren't open to it. I said, why don't you start looking at some other things here and maybe eliminate one of those meds? I gotta do that. That's it. This is the only thing that works, and it's working, so I'm just going to continue doing it. In that situation, and I respect everybody's decision. That's what I can't minimize anything. But if you heard that, what would you say?
Well, it's a little more complicated because I'd have to know the person.
Sure.
But the first thing I'd say is, are you exercising? Are you getting sunlight? Are you getting vitamin D? I would want to see a complete blood panel because I would want to see what the
Hmm.
iron levels are, what the minerals are, because if someone's missing, this is wild. If you're missing, let's say, iron, that's going to interfere with your body's ability to produce serotonin.
Hmm.
So this whole thing could be an iron deficiency. I'm not saying it is. It's most likely not, but that's what it means to look into the problem.
Gotcha.
To look for what's going on in his body, what's going on in his lifestyle, what's going on even in a big part of what I do with people who are depressed, because I used to be, is I let them know you're choosing to keep following these thoughts. You don't believe me yet, you will later. But when anxiety, when depression, when the thoughts start, that's when we nip it in the bud. We have to have about 4 or 5 good things to think about or to default to, because we're going to go into those cycles pretty easily. We have to really question, why am I doing this? How, like, depression is heavily residing in the rational mind. The rational mind lies to try to protect us. The more we're aware of that, you see, one of the tricks I use is in conventional coaching, we don't like to use negatives or I don't know, we don't like to go too far into the rational mind. We want to use more of the openness of the creative mind. And for people like me that were trapped in the rational, sometimes you need to use a splinter to pull out a splinter. And so I would give them the argument that almost makes them see. I'd let them to see how nonsensical it is. Now that's not going to break the depression, but it's going to provide a tool to thin it continually. It's going to allow it to diminish, because once it's seen as being not real, it has to go away. And it's not real because it's a lying thought process.
I was just going to ask you, do you feel that we're deceiving ourselves? Our minds are deceiving us.
It that's the whole game comes into depression is a fear response. We can have, if we want to go fully binary, at the base level, you have fear and you have trust or faith. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust the future. You don't trust the outcome. You don't trust anything. You don't love yourself. You don't want to be yourself, et cetera, et cetera. That becomes, and it gains momentum. And you start believing your own like insane thoughts. And they really are insane. Oh,
Mm.
everything's going to end bad. Nobody likes me. I'm a failure all the time. Well, guess what? Whatever you decide you are, you are. You have to start seeing that that's the choice you're making and you're killing yourself.
We talk in music, right? There's a song that keeps, and you just said the lyrics. Sticks, fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself and you don't believe it, is how the song
Yeah.
goes. It's kind of what it sounds like, where our minds are feeding us information, call it that, thoughts, and we
Mhm.
know where it's coming from. Childhood situations, call it traumas in our childhood. Yes, we all have them. Don't deny it. If you do, you need to look into that even deeper. Um,
Yeah, that's the avoidance.
that's the avoidance. But our minds are feeding us this stuff, and then we feed into it, and then we start believing it. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. Tomorrow, it's going to be a horrible day. All of that false information. So you're believing, yeah, it's almost like scrolling on social and you see stuff. Oh my God, look at that.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
and thank you for that because that is I keep doing detoxes and I keep getting pulled back in, but social media, if you want to have a goal, if you ever want to get somewhere, I found like, if you're driving a car, if I'm driving a car, I want to be looking at the road. So if I have a goal, I want to be focusing on the goal. Meanwhile, all of a sudden I hop on social media 2 hours later. So yeah, my car's crashed and now I'm back at step one because
Mm.
I lost my focus. I lost everything else. For depression and anxiety, it's horrible because it's really messing with your dopamine cycles and it's making you go into deeper holes. I would definitely say stay off social media. I would also recommend having a conversation with the doctor about a 5-HTP supplement. Speak with your prescribing physician because that is a precursor to serotonin. And it was in the 70s, I believe. They were looking to use it as a medication, and then it ended up blah, blah, blah. I don't know what happened. And so it's over the counter. And I've seen it work really, really well for a lot of people. It does not have the same side effect profile. You could start or stop it much more easily than an SSRI. Those have to be done under the supervision of the prescribing physician. Nobody here should be taking this as medical advice.
Yeah, right. That's our disclaimer.
Yes,
5-HTP supplement. Did you say that you can get that over the counter?
that is over the counter. Yeah, there's Cerebrocom by Marco Pharma is a really good one for that. And there's another one they have too.
What exactly is
They're
5-HTP?
serotonin precursor. Here's the deal: serotonin can't cross the blood-brain barrier. We have more serotonin in the gut than in the brain. Never the twain shall meet. And so, since it can't cross the blood-brain barrier, 5-HTP is a building block to it. I guess it's an amino acid.
Mm.
And so it can cross the barrier, get into the brain, and the brain can make more serotonin. The way the regular medications work is it keeps the synapses open a little bit longer. And supposedly, I believe there are studies indicating 5-HTP may be more effective too. But again, under the supervision of the prescribing physician.
I want to go back to social media for just a sec.
Yes.
I completely agree with everything you're saying there. Get off of it, take a break, whatever you need to do. But here's the thing, and we all know it. When you're scrolling, you stop on certain reels and certain content. It knows, and it's got one job to serve you more of what you want, i.e., what you're looking at most, because it wants to keep you engaged, so you continue to look at ads. So if you start looking at certain things, and for whether it's creating comparison and that's bringing you down, whether it's creating anxiety, fails. I once started looking at boat fails. Now all I see is people in boats and accidents, and I'm like, you're going to see more of it and more of it and more of it. So all it's doing, it's almost like the sledgehammer, the anxiety or depression sledgehammer hitting you over the head again. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And guess what? You asked for it because you watched it. You watched another one, and social media, Meta, demanded you more.
Exactly. And it's geared towards triggering the emotions. Look at the news.
Oh, sure.
If the news was right 1/10 of the time, we'd all be dead 50 times over.
Mm.
It's all gloom and doom because that's what pulls people in. It's like, oh my God, like, oh, dangerous person on the loose. We'll tell you about it at 11. It's like, well, if it's that dangerous, tell me now.
Yeah. Right. Or clickbait, clickbait. You have to
Exactly.
click the comments. Why do you have to click the comments? Because they get credit for it and it boosts their rankings.
Yes.
And
And,
yeah, to your point, it's like that old this phrase back in the day with news: if it bleeds, it leads. That would be the top story, as opposed to
exactly.
we rescued a kitten on top of a tree.
Yeah, and that puts the depression. Oh, look, everything's terrible, everything's awful. Is it bad? Go outside, see how it feels.
Yep.
Turn off the news, see how you feel. News detox. And people don't realize this because this is one of the most insidious things. Programming. We call TV shows, we call this programming. What is programming at the high level? Programming actually normalizes behaviors, interactions, everything. You want to set a fashion, you start having someone on TV wear it. It's now normalized the way that looks. Our eyes adjust, and now we crave that style. You want to normalize a behavior. We do what the people that we look at. Children are shown how to perform in society through children's programming. How do you relate to others? Please, thank you, all this. Our parents teach us, and they do it through programming. It can be done for good and for ill. And so when we're on social media, it's also programming us to fight with each other. It really does. There's a lot of right now division and otherment. And I see a lot of people also liking and loving to connect at the human level. But people aren't having conversations like they used to. So many things are minefields now because we can't just be like, you know what, we both want what's best and we have different data sets. Instead, it's I'm right and you're bad.
I just had a flash, and I'm going to have to admit it here. Working in the broadcast world since I was a kid, the word programming had a meaning. We're programming our broadcast day. What's coming up next? What other shows are we going to run? Blah, blah, blah. Speaking with people like you and doing podcasts like this, and I'm still in the broadcast world. When you said the word programming, I didn't think of it as, well, we are programming. We have programs coming up. I immediately thought of programming the audience.
Yes. English is an amazing language when you dive into the words we just sort of slide under the radar, the meanings that just sort of escape us. Oh, and there, yeah, it's a rabbit hole. We're not going there
Oh
right
my
now, but yeah,
gosh. Like what's social media doing? You are being programmed. They're
yeah,
trying to or are programming your mind. For what? To keep you watching, to make you feel a certain way so you can be sold on something.
yeah.
That's all it
And
is.
they
That's what
put
it
us
is.
in. We go into echo chambers. We go into all this stuff and become like it's a really interesting phenomenon. I'd love to see it at like the 10,000 foot view. Just look at what the actual metrics look like.
You know what's really sad? Many think that hypnotherapy is programming your mind. Somebody else is programming. I'm going to get you to stop smoking with hypnosis. I'm program but that's not what's happening. Hypnosis is you getting the key so you can work on you. But the perception is I'm being programmed by somebody watching social media. I'm not being programmed. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Actually, TV puts people into the alpha state, which is the hypnotic state.
Yes, coming from the marketing world, you are correct because there are certain words that are used, even on the very surface level. Um, you might hear a commercial, don't buy a car. Well, right away, that gets your attention because you're telling me not to do something until you go to the ABC car lot because we have the greatest deals ever. But you were programmed just by those words. Don't do something.
Yeah, and it's wild because myself included, like to believe I have free will.
Mm.
Now, free will, again, totally different program. I've officially decided the whole thing falls into paradox, but I don't have free will. I have the power of intent, but what this character, this body does happens before I can think about it. Those are programmed habits and responses based on stimuli, complex sets of stimuli. I can intend and I can repattern in offline time, so to speak. So conversation, a proper conversation, we are responsive, not reactive. Reactive is we're on autopilot, we're jumping up and down, we're making noise, we're saying and doing things that may be regrettable later. We are not present. Responsive is we engage. We're present, we're reading the other person, we're having fun. So that entire presence is really everything. And when we're functioning, it's really important to stay in that place, be present, be open, because that's where the authentic communication happens. When we go onto autopilot, we sort of just fall out of it completely.
What happens when you're laying in bed at 11 o'clock at night scrolling? You're on autopilot. Part of you is. Anyway, more than you think. We're out of time. Interesting conversation today. Yes. This always starts like, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. Accelerated healing specialist. This is what you do. You made me realize a lot today, like pretty serious stuff in the programming world of things. ScarsdaleHealth.com is your main website, correct?
Yeah. Oh, and last thing, the presence is where the free will happens. That's what I meant. I knew I was making the circle. So being present is the free will.
It's also a present.
There we go. English is lovely.
Right? What it is, right? You have a gift. You have free will. You're available. Anybody's got a question, certainly. Scarsdale, New York, that's where the magic through acupuncture takes place, but a lot of this can be done virtually anywhere. Chris, thanks for being here today. Great conversation. Great program, by the way.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.